Welcome to Agenda Edina, a news program summarizing the actions taken at City Hall that affect you most. I'm your host, Dorothea Marty. The Edina Police Department needs your help to thwart a recent string of house burglaries. All of the incidents occurred during the day. In each, the burglar forcibly entered the home by prying open a window or door and stole jewelry. In many of the cases, the phone lines were cut. In an incident May 10th, the suspect didn't get away with anything because he ran off after being surprised by the homeowner. The suspect was described as a white male in his 40s with dark hair and a receding hairline. He was reported to have driven off in a brown sedan with a white female in the front passenger seat. In a burglary April 1st, a man described as being white with dark hair was seen driving a red pickup with a black topper. These burglaries may be linked to similar incidents in Plymouth, Minnetonka, and Minneapolis.
The most important thing is to call us when it's happening. That way we can come and check it out. We'd rather find out that it's nothing than have to find out later on that a burglary occurred and somebody saw the vehicle but didn't want to call us because they didn't want to bother us. We'd much rather have them call so that we can verify everything's okay in the neighborhood.
Detective Dave Carlson is asking for any information relevant to either the vehicles or suspects in these burglaries. If you know anything, please call the Edina Police anytime at 952-826-1600. Firefighters will soon be able to train in Minnesota's first high-rise fire simulator at the South Metro Public Safety Training Facility. The Edina City Council recently agreed to share the $500,000 price tag for the project with the cities of Bloomington and Eden Prairie. Edina's share of the cost is 24%. It will be the most significant upgrade to the law enforcement and firefighting training center since it opened on Braemar Boulevard in 2003. The police and fire departments of the three cities and the Metropolitan Airport Commission Police jointly funded construction of the training facility, which includes shooting ranges, classrooms, and a 7-story burn tower. The new equipment is necessary for practicing high-rise fire response. The burn tower was plumbed to accommodate fire simulators on the 1st, 2nd, and 6th floors, but funding was not available until now for the 6th floor burner. The project also includes a flashover simulator on the 6th floor.
The importance of flashover is, as a fire builds inside of a home, all the heat and gases rise to the ceiling, and eventually those gases ignite into fire and it rolls over across the ceiling. And we call that rollover or flashover. And one of the things that the current training tower doesn't have is that capability.
Both simulators are fueled by natural gas and are expected to be in place before the end of the year. What started as a way for two friends to volunteer has turned into lifelong service for one Edina woman. Edina 16's Jordan Gilgenbach has more.
When I first started out, a neighbor and I had decided we'd like to volunteer over at Fairview Southdale. It hadn't been.
Shirley Johnson has spent a lot of her free time volunteering weekly at Fairview Southdale Hospital in Edina.
I've been told it's been 42 years and 1 month.
She began volunteering 4 years after the hospital opened in 1965.
At that time, we changed jobs every 2 years. So I went around and did different jobs in the hospital.
Okay, thank you.
It has been a very meaningful experience for me, and I enjoy being here and helping people.
In April, this meaningful experience was recognized when Johnson was awarded the Mayor's Outstanding Senior Commendation for her volunteer service to the community.
It is indeed a rare gift to have a volunteer stay active in and loyal to an organization for such a length of time. Shirley Johnson is this rare gift to Fairview Southdale Hospital and to our entire community.
It was just way overwhelming. I can't say anything. I never ever thought when I started here at Fairview that it would come to that.
I don't know.
At the information desk, where Johnson has worked for many years, she answers telephones, assists visitors, makes sure wheelchairs are available, and various other tasks.
Hi, can I help you? Yes.
My main objective is to be able to help other people and the people that need to be helped here in the hospital.
Based on her experience, Johnson recommends people volunteer their time to help the community.
I think it makes a person feel good about themselves. Oftentimes people don't have enough to do, and if they volunteer, they will find plenty to do. And there's lots of opportunities here in the hospital.
Even after working more than 6,000 hours, Johnson still enjoys what she does.
Like I say, it's just something that's happened that I've just stayed and have never had any reason to leave, so I'm still here.
With Scott Denfeld, I'm Jordan Gilgenbach, Edina 16.
Johnson says she has no plans to stop volunteering. Other volunteers make our Edina parks beautiful. Every year, the Plants and Flowers members of the Edina Garden Council provide a colorful backdrop for our outdoor activities. Agenda Edina producer Steve Christensen has more.
Volunteers with the Edina Garden Council were busy in May getting plants ready for the summer months.
Every year, the garden clubs, about the 7 individual garden clubs, they each go and plant one of the largest beds around the city of Edina.
Here, I'm going to pull these down a little bit.
Working alongside the Edina Park Department, the Garden Council plants around 1/3 of the city's displays.
I think that's down far enough.
The garden club each pick their site and plant. One site, Roslyn, there's 2 clubs planting that site because it's a very big site. And we plant basically the rest of the gardens that they don't plant.
Planting different varieties of flowers in the gardens gives residents a chance to see something new.
It's a real thrill when Tim will get a call from a resident or even somebody outside of Edina and they say, "What was that flower?" What was that flower?
Arneson Acres Park serves as the main greenhouse for the city and the Garden Council.
We spend our volunteer hours during the cold winter months. It's really nice to go to the greenhouse and get your hands in this beautiful, beautiful brown crumbly soil and put the seeds and watch the wonder of them growing. We really enjoy doing it.
Yeah. Oh, really, really nice.
For Edina 16, I'm Steve Christensen.
If you're interested in joining the Garden Council or want to find out about their upcoming events, visit www.edinagardencouncil.org. Some urban designers think that cars, bicycles, and pedestrians can safely share street space. Members of the Edina City Council agree and have directed the Transportation Commission to develop a living streets policy. The goal of Edina Living Streets Policy will be to develop a balanced transportation system that integrates all modes for users of all types, ages, and abilities.
We're looking at ways to engage more people with more modes of transportation, more walking, more pedestrians, more bicycling. And the Complete Streets concept, the Living Streets policy that we're looking to introduce, certainly does that, engages the residents on more modes and more abilities to be able to travel on our streets throughout the community.
The Ramsey-Washington Metro Watershed District and the City of North St. Paul have developed living streets policies and are implementing a new living streets plan. The City of Maplewood is also pursuing a process to adopt living streets. Drafting the Edina Living Streets policy could take the Transportation Commission up to 18 months to complete. Still to come, a request for financial assistance from the country's first shopping mall. But first, keeping a pack of wild animals at bay when we return.
Dumping yard waste in city parks and woodlands can damage and even kill trees and vegetation. Don't wait for Mother Nature to fight back. Keep Edina's open spaces clean and healthy by keeping trash and yard waste out.
Not all parks have a superhero on duty, so it's up to you to protect Edina's defenseless fences. Please don't throw or hit balls at park fences or backstops.
Welcome back to Agenda Edina. Forget Wile E. Coyote's hapless pursuits in the cartoon wasteland. His real-life kin are prowling Edina's streets, and they're anything but a laughing matter for some. The remarkably adaptive animals are famous for roaming rural stretches. Some naturalists suspect the ranks of urban coyotes may be swelling as they migrate from the open spaces of the west and southeast toward the Midwest. Coyote sightings are not new in Edina, but this spring a dog was attacked by one on Kelsey Court. Experts say that in more heavily populated areas, coyotes are drawn to the ample rabbits, rodents, and small house pets that are easier for them to hunt than catching fawns in the forest. Well-tended residential areas provide a good food source and cover. Add to that dog food left outside or food scraps in trash cans, and you improve odds a coyote will show up.
I'd say right now we're probably getting maybe 5 to 10 reports of sightings throughout the course of a week. A lot of that's driven by the fact that we've requested it so we can start tracking some coyote activity and know where the hot spots are and so forth.
Last month, the City Council okayed the police department's plan to remove the most brazen coyotes that show no fear toward humans. Since it is illegal to set traps or discharge firearms in city limits, the city is also working to draft an ordinance amendment that would allow residents to obtain permits to hire wildlife management professionals to remove less threatening coyotes on their property. As always, residents are urged to take precautions.
We always ask people to watch what they're putting in compost heaps. We ask people to not feed any pets outside. Certainly not leaving anything like meat products or anything like that outside. Don't compost those or anything along that line as well.
In areas where coyotes have been spotted, pets should be kept indoors. Since 2003, the Edina Heritage Preservation Board has been honoring community members for their work in preservation. Last month, the board named the recipient of the 2011 Heritage Award. Here's Edina 16's Kaylin Martin with more.
There's a lot of celebrating going on at St. Stephen's Church this year, where they are not only recognizing their 75th anniversary, but taking pride in receiving this year's Edina Heritage Award.
It's nice that the community is recognizing this effort here on the corner of 50th and Wooddale.
Ann Marks and Jane Perry have been members of St. Stephen's Church and Friends for over 65 years. Jane and Ann have seen the church grow from 200 members to 1,200.
It was huge in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, just enormous. Every service was adding chairs along the aisles and any place else we could find room to sit.
And as the congregation grew, so did the building.
So we did a lot of building, the office wing and the bell tower and the chapel.
Careful thought went into every addition to maintain the historical integrity of the church.
If architectural historian were to look at the building, he would be able to figure out, probably without looking at the cornerstone, approximately when it was built.
With the vast history, Associate City Planner Joyce Repia said the church has remained a faithful interpretation of an English country church.
We wanted to also recognize people who have gone above and beyond as far as preserving their properties, being sensitive when they're adding on to their properties to make sure that they're maintaining the historic integrity of the property.
In addition to the members feeling pride in getting the award, I think the whole community of Edina can, because in a sense, if the community was not oriented toward heritage preservation, not as much care would have been taken in preserving the buildings. So in a sense, the building's a reflection of the community.
We've tried to include the community in as many activities as we could, and I think that's very important to the people of this parish, particularly the ones of us who have been around for a long time, because we have great memories of great things going on here.
With Aaron Klein, I'm Kaylin Martin, Edina 16.
Edina Morningside Church received the Heritage Award in 2008, which makes St. Stephen's the second historic church to receive the recognition. The owners of another historic property, the oldest shopping mall in the country, have asked the city for financial assistance. Southdale Center recently announced that her Burgers will move into the former Mervyn space this fall. Interior demolition is underway. Tied to those plans is a relocation of the mall's third-floor food court to the second floor in the JCPenney wing. Also, a first-floor corridor from Center Court to JCPenney will be relocated from between Ann Taylor and Abercrombie & Fitch to between Ann Taylor and Victoria's Secret.
I think we hope to capitalize on having more choices for people by moving the food court to an area where there's a mall entrance, and we hope to capitalize on people outside in the area where the office buildings are and the medical buildings are to bring people into the mall for lunch hour. Having 6 new food court tenants will have a greater variety than what we have right now.
The mall's owner, Simon Property Group, has labeled Southdale Center one of its transformational properties and has estimated basic renovations of the mall to cost $7.3 million. Officials recommend a more aggressive $12.6 million renovation, so they are asking the city for the difference of $5.3 million. The second phase of improvements would include a new main entrance to the mall, lighting, signs, improved restroom facilities, parking deck rehabilitation, and a children's play area. Members of the council suggested Simon Property Group sell a parcel on this site to the city and use the money from the sale to invest in the shopping mall. The city might use the property for a water treatment plant to serve the area or a transit hub. Simon officials say they are researching the feasibility of a land sale. Meanwhile, city council members said they would continue to think about the value of a public investment in the private facility. Every spring, Twin Cities residents flock to the Taste of Edina. Some come for the food, some for the wine, some for the socializing. But for one Edina couple, they came for it all, and at the same time, make the event an educational experience in sampling. Edina 16's Max Orenstein explains.
For the last 10 years, Tim Davis has been coming to the Taste of Edina.
Well, the first time I remember was held at Edina Southdale. It had a roped off section. It was extremely loud.
It's quite a different scene these days.
And this venue is gorgeous when we can be outside and on these lakes.
A much more pleasant scene.
Edina Liquor does a fabulous job with the wine tasting, and they have such a variety from many different places. Here, cheers. And all the new restaurants that crop up in Edina that you don't necessarily know about unless you have an event like this. They're really good.
And you won't leave hungry either.
Tim, did you have these? They're very good.
With over 20 restaurants, you are bound to find some new and tasty food items.
Watch me enjoy this.
But sometimes you just gotta stick to the basics.
We have to head for the chocolate. We'll find chocolate.
And she won't stop until she gets what she wants.
It's all about the chocolate. It's all about the chocolate. Chocolate chip?
It's a bittersweet chocolate brownie.
That works for me a lot.
For Gail, it's mission accomplished.
Nothing beats chocolate.
For Tim, his night is just getting started.
He might work hard, I'm going to sit and remember the chocolate.
For Edina 16, I'm Max Orenstein.
In addition to the food, this year's event featured more than 18 restaurants, 70 wines, and 20 microbrews. The event is in its 10th year and continues to grow each year. Before we go, we want to highlight some of the many upcoming events in our community. The Edina Art Fair will be held in downtown Edina at 50th and France Friday, June 3rd through Sunday, June 5th. The Edina Model Yacht Club will host its annual parade of boats 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Sunday, June 12th at Centennial Lakes Park. See more than 100 radio-controlled electric, steam, and wind-powered models. Club members will be on hand to display, run, and answer questions about their model boats. The Farmers Market at Centennial Lakes Park begins June 16th and will be held 3 to 7 p.m. every Thursday throughout the summer. Looking ahead to next month, Edina's annual Independence Day Parade will be held 10 a.m. Monday, July 4th. City Hall will be closed that day in observance of the holiday. Fireworks, sponsored by Fairview Southdale Hospital, will light the sky at dusk at Roslyn Park. I look forward to celebrating our nation's independence with you in July. Thanks for watching this month's episode of Agenda Edina.